Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ash, and welcome to the YouTube channel Ash Knows Travel, where I share trainings, walkthroughs, and insider tips to help travel advisors book smarter and build confidence. And tonight's training is called How I Would Start Over as a Travel Agent in 2026. And my favorite thing about this training is when you first read it, I know you're thinking, okay, this is just for people who might want to become travel agents, or maybe they're new travel agents. But honestly, this is for a travel agent at every single stage. And the reason that is because I'm going to be covering not only what I would do if I were to start over, but I'm also going to talk about if I lost everything tomorrow, and I don't say that for anybody. I don't ever wish that on anybody, but sometimes we get to a point in our travel agent career where we've got like a ton of bookings and then we get a little quiet, and then we get a ton of bookings and then we get a little quiet, and we want to feel that quietness, right? We don't want quietness in our career. So, and also this is going to be for people who maybe just are at a point where, hey, I need more clients. How can I get more clients? That is exactly kind of what's going to be inside of this, as well as not just if I were to start over in 2026, because as an agent, we could start over tomorrow if we choose to, right? Like we can just make one simple change in our business and boom, we got a whole list of clients. So that is exactly what I'm going to be covering. I'm going to be talking about my clients, my social media, my systems, my brand, and I'm also going to cover what I would do first, what I would focus on, what I would skip. Okay, we're gonna just talk about everything all the way to what I will even like really double down on. Okay, and that's exactly everything we're covering for tonight. And this training is just really designed to help you cut through the noise of being a new agent or trying to find clients. There can be a lot of noise out there, right? And just kind of help you focus on the activities that actually moves the needle to where you want in your career, right? Especially if you're brand new or even if you're trying to rebuild momentum in your business. So, if you are live here, go ahead and let me know in the chat box by commenting hello. I do have the chat box open so I can see it. Hello, everyone. Yeah. And if you just happen to catch this on a replay, I still want to know that you were here. So go ahead and comment on the video and comment replay for me so that I know that you stopped by. Yeah. And of course, before I start the training, I always like to, cover I'm doing for the rest of the month, right? So on Thursday, I'm going to do another deep dive. Tonight's a deep dive, and Thursday's a deep dive. I'm going to talk about the truth about being a travel agent that nobody talks about. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty deep one. And then next week, I'm going to cover everything as a funnel, part two. So I'm going to break down funnels and then how travel agents can look more professional online on that Thursday. And then the last Tuesday, of the month, and also kind of the last day of the month. Yeah. Travel agent habits that actually make money, because we're going into a new month. Let's talk about new habits that we can maybe take up in the travel industry to make more money. Yeah. So if you haven't already, make sure you tap that bell so that you get notifications when I go live. So you don't have to remember, okay? But you should already know when I go live. You guys should already know. Tuesday and Thursdays at 5 p.m. PST, yeah? And I'm going to keep it this way because this is easy for me. And I feel like we get, a lot more people on because of the time frame. People are off work. These are times that people are available. So I'm going to always keep it that way. But anyways, long story short, I'm going to remove all this stuff off the screen. And while I'm doing so, I want to go ahead and say that this is how I would start over as a travel agent, okay? This isn't me saying that this is the only way you can start over. This isn't me saying that if you do it this way, you're going to make a bunch of money. That's not at all what I'm saying. You're going to hear several different things that people would do to start over, okay? I'm just saying this in a sense of this is what I would do, okay? If I could go back and start back over, I'm at year 4 now, and if I could go back and start over, this is the things that I wish I would have known. That's really what it is, right? So tonight, it's not about doing everything. I don't want you to think to leave here and go off and do everything that I'm saying. It's about doing the right things in the right order so that you guys can get the results that you actually want for your travel business. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in and let's remove all this stuff off the screen here. All right, so here I am. So yeah, how I would start over as a travel agent in 2026, the exact steps I would take if I had 0 clients today. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about this one. I actually did a deep dive on things that I could have done better. I actually started this kind of whole process when I was building my own new agent program for my team. Yeah, it's kind of what this is. It's kind of a rough summary of my new agent program. And the reason I have it that way is because I just sat down and just thought, like, man, if I could start over, what would I skip? Like, when I first started, we didn't have AI. Okay. I mean, we had like the beginning stages, but we had like Canva and we had to like build everything in Canva. And like making a video would take me like a whole day, you know? So, like, if I could start over in 2026, I could skip a lot of that painfulness that I had to go through. So that's kind of what made me want to do this training, is because a lot of you guys are either brand new, or maybe, you know, you're in a part of your career where you're kind of stuck and you're like, what else can I do? Like, this is exactly what I'm going to be covering tonight. And this is made exactly for you. So let's go ahead. Now, the first thing that I'm going to talk about is just the biggest mistake that I see most of you guys make. And then honestly, the rest of what I'm going to be talking about is how I would start over. And I'm going to talk about the various just things that I would do differently. And then I'm going to kind of break them down. Okay. So the biggest mistake new agents make is trying to do everything at once. And a lot of that stems from the new agent packet that they normally receive. I've learned over time, especially being a mentor and being a trainer, you guys always do better when we're learning things if we feed you something slowly. Like if I just were to just go in on, like, let's say instant commission breakdown. Like if I were to skip everything and then just so you had to do the invoice and then hop off, you would be very confused on how I got the prices, how I got, you know, to the part where I'm adding commission. Like there's several different things that come into one part, right? So when we're out there trying to do everything at once and we're trying to learn everything at once, we tend to skip parts. And that could be anywhere from suppliers to picking our niche to picking what social platforms actually work for us. And then instead, we're signing up for every supplier. We're trying to do every niche. We're trying to cover every platform, every training. And we try to attach ourselves to every little shiny object that we see from the people that are here way longer than us. Yeah. And I remember doing this so much because I would see something work for somebody and then I would try to do that exact thing. And then I would get upset and I would be like overwhelmed and I would definitely be inconsistent because I was trying to do something just everybody else. And what are you doing? You're doing this. Let's try this. Let's try that. Right. But what happened was is I was picking up a lot of things and not actually keeping them because I would set them down to pick up something else. Right. And that's exactly what this is. And that's probably the biggest mistake that new agents make, is that they're constantly trying to pick up something new because they want to kind of get there the fastest, do this the quickest. And a lot of the times we kind of stumble and fall because we're trying to do so much at one time. So if I were to start over in 2026, I would definitely not suggest doing it this way. And if you are a mentor and you are bringing on new agents, I would also suggest not feeding them the info this way because it's very easy to become overwhelmed. And when they're overwhelmed, they shut down and they become inconsistent because they don't know where to start. Okay. So, how would I start over? Yes. First thing that I would do, in the most important thing that I would do, is just have a clear focus on what I'm trying to do here, right? So the three things that I feel like is the most important when we first start is building our visibility. We can't get a booking if we're not seen. So we have to learn how to become visible. We have to learn how to become naturally visible and not force ourselves to be visible. And when we start becoming naturally visible, we start to build relationships with people because they can see us with the consistency of what we're posting. And that consistency relates to our sales activities, which will begin to grow because of the other two things that we just did. Did we get it? Yeah. You see how I built that? I put it all together. That's a funnel right there. I just turned the funnel sideways. That's what I did. But that's it. That's what you exactly need to do. And that's the only three things that you need to focus on. But the thing is about the travel industry that those three things are actually quite large. Can we agree? Like focusing on visibility can take a couple of your days. Focusing on the relationships that you have with new clients, with possible clients, there's a lot of different people that we have to talk to, so there's a lot of relationships, and then it even stems to the sales activity. We have to keep up with new bookings, old bookings, possible bookings. Like there's a lot that goes into that, right? So I feel like those three are just enough for somebody to focus on when they first start, and that's going to eventually, if they play into those three parts, yeah, they're going to eventually get their booking. That's exactly what they're here for. So that's what they should focus on. Yeah, that's what I'm focusing on. Honestly, that's really what my days. I just did a training last week called My Exact Weekly Workflow, and it stems out of these three. And the other two of them that I have in there break down one of these three. So this is a good focus. Yes. Next one. Now, the first thing that we make a mistake on, oh, as new agents, I see this all the time. Okay. This is exactly how I built my new agent program too. We always just kind of skip the foundation part and then we end up going like all over the place trying to do everything. And I just want to say also, just for because I know you could see it. Listen, the slide got messed up when it got made. I don't know what happened here. It put whatever it wanted, so I put stuff over it. Okay, we'll just talk about it. That's fine, but it's cool. Wait, I can work with this. Let's go. Right. So if I were to start over my first week, the first things I would have done, obviously, is to get your certificate, right? We obviously have to do that. You can't book any travel without being certified. So that's the first thing that you should do, like the first couple of days, okay? But that first week, you really want to build your foundation. So you either need to do, like a lot of us already have Facebooks. So you either need to turn that into a professional Facebook profile so you can start being seen by other people, or you need to set up some type of business page on whatever platform you want to. Okay. Even if you're not going to market on social media, you still need to have some type of social media account for people to verify who you are. And that's how people verify these days. They're going to look you up on Facebook, they're going to look you up on Google, whatever. So you need to have some kind of anchor for people to find you. There it is, right? And then with that, I would set up a job form. And not only a job form, I didn't have a lot of blocks here, okay? But I'd also probably do like a link tree. I'll have link tree later down in the slides. But I would definitely set up some place for people to be able to contact you. You want to make it extremely easy for people to contact you. The easier they see it, the easier that they'll go in and fill an inquiry. So there's that, right? And then I put TikTok. TikTok, I mean it. You really got to have a TikTok. I know people don't like TikTok, but I run an entire faceless TikTok account and it gets me tons of bookings. And the reason why is because every time you're posting on TikTok, it automatically goes to a for you page, which is people that do not follow you. And it's way easier to grow an account and to get clientele on TikTok. I'm just being clear, okay? Does that mean that you have to run and go getting TikTok? No. But if you get to a point where you're finding yourself like not getting any clientele, maybe you should consider TikTok, okay? And you don't even really got to go on there, okay? You guys know my TikTok account. I just flow in there and play some carousels. They like it. Like, they really like the ones with photos and words now. Like, that's just their thing. Like, there's always a way around it, okay? You can get comfortable on TikTok, but you will never learn about it if you don't get it. Okay. So definitely, I would suggest getting a TikTok. Like you can pick whatever social media page you want here. Okay. Whatever you choose here, but you definitely need TikTok. Instagram and Facebook are good platforms to build on. But if you don't have a following and you're starting from scratch, it takes time to build. Right. And when you're on TikTok, it's way faster to build. I've got almost 10,000 followers on TikTok, and that's just from making those carousels over and over and over and fixing them and making them better and changing it up. Like I'm always learning, you know? So that's just my suggestion. Okay. And then, of course, vendors. You really need to set up a good basis for vendors. Okay. You definitely need all different parts of travel when it comes to your vendors. So, like Vax covers like resorts, hotels, packages. Expedia Tap does the fill in when we don't have the good Vax, right? I always suggest Vacation Access too, because honestly, when Vax doesn't have it, they have it. So Vacation Express is good. Like you just need the vendors that you can book everything on. What else we got? Viator is a good one. Like you guys watch your new agent orientation from your mentors, okay? I'm not going to go into a deep dive, but like make sure you get vendors that you can really book all different types of travel because in the beginning, my next page is probably going to talk about your niche. Okay, we're trying to establish our niche, and you might stumble upon your niche, and you can't stumble upon it if you don't have the right vendors. So we'll just start that. Okay, and then lastly, my digital command center. Now, my digital command center is like basically like a CRM in Google Sheets. And it doesn't just do CRM, it does everything from my leads to basically how I follow up with them, how I market, my daily tasks. Like it's just everything that I have. And I call it the digital command center. Yeah. I have a whole training on it. If you guys want it, let me know. If you want the digital command center itself, also just comment command. Okay. I will find it and drop it in there. Let me just go get it real quick. Hold on. I was thinking to myself, Ash, you should pull that up before you start this training. But you know what? It's a new day, so let's go. Come on. Come on. There it is. All right. So here's what it looks like. Digital command center. Yeah. You guys can comment command and I'll give it to you if you guys want it. I don't know if you guys want it. And I say comment command because also if you're watching the recording, still comment so that I know to give it to you. Okay. But I do have like a 2-day fall around for commenting because like you guys comment a lot. And that's why I don't do so many like, here's my Google Sheet, here's my Google Doc videos because it's a lot to reply to. So give me, ah, yeah, just give me a couple of days to reply to if I don't get it immediately. I'll try, okay? But it has everything. Lead inquiries. I teach you guys about Jot form integration, where your leads can follow into here. Client booking, follow up, content marketing, like I do everything here. Okay. So I have training on it too if you want that. I can get it to you guys later, but at least you have that. And if you really need to for the training, just go to my website. If you guys go to ashnostravel.com, you guys could just go to that training videos right there and then just search it. You'll find it too. Okay. So there it is. All right. But back to what we're doing here. So let me put it in the chat. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I should have it. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I didn't even, yeah. I copied it and then I just got rid of it. All right. There we go. So sorry about that. So you guys should have it. Okay. But digital command center, if you don't like mine, have some kind of system in place because I didn't have a system in place when I first started. And honestly, I regretted it about, I would say like a year and a half in. Like I was like roughing it out. I was like, man, I have to constantly find these new leads. Why do I have to constantly find new leads when I already had them? Like I kind of put myself in a bubble. So I don't recommend doing that. Start somewhere and start with a system in place. Yeah. So that's week 1. Keep going now. So yeah, I knew the next one was coming. Choose a niche. Now, the reason why I suggest choosing a niche because it is a lot easier to focus on one part of travel than trying to do the entire travel industry. I do realize also that it will take some time to develop that, and that is okay. It's also okay to switch your niche later on if you find that you are becoming a different person. You might like a different part of travel, and that's fine too. Okay. But you really kind of need to kind of figure out what your primary focus is and what you enjoy booking. That way, you have a better way to market. You have something to actually zone in on. Now, is that going to be the only thing that you book? Absolutely not. I book all kinds of stuff for all kinds of people. Has nothing to do with what I focus on, but people remember specialist. And you sound a lot more confident saying, like for me, I'm an adults only all inclusive resort specialist. Does that sound a lot better than just saying, oh, I book travel? Yeah. Like I'm telling them what I specialize in, right? And I can even finish that with, but I can handle all types of travel given whatever your need is. That way I can still open it up if I need to. But having a primary focus will really kind of shift the way you market. And it really helps on certain platforms like TikTok. It requires for you to have a certain, not only just niche, but like also a certain audience. So you need to have like what you're talking about and who you're talking to in order to do very, very well on there. And that's why my TikTok has done so well, is because I literally just say adults only, resorts, adults only, resorts. And it goes, oh, okay, yeah, that's what we're talking to. Adults only. Got it. Resorts. Got it. Like it's paying attention. So it picks it up a lot faster. Yeah. And that's what brings me to the second part. Not only do you want to do your niche, but you also want to define your audience, because it is a lot harder. Like if you have a funnel, right? And imagine if you're having a funnel and you're just like pouring very far away, hoping to catch every part of it. And you start like trying to move the funnel to catch everyone, right? It's a lot harder to filter people down to booking with you when you're trying to filter everyone. And it's a lot easier when you define your audience and figure out who you actually want to talk to. That way, your funnel becomes a lot smaller. Yeah. And I know that's a very descriptive kind of thing, but I need to give you a visual for this because I want you to understand why I say define your audience. It is a lot harder to get everyone to book with you when you're out here trying to market to everybody. But if you're talking to who you're supposed to talk to, like if you're doing family vacations, talking to a 25-year-old with no kids isn't going to help you, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So, families, you want to talk to family vacations. Couples, they would do adults only. They would like that, right? Empty nesters might also be adults only. Or maybe they're older and they like to do like, the luxury cruises or adventure travelers. Like you have to speak directly to someone in order to get the best results when it comes to marketing travel. Now, I know a lot of you are also going to say that puts me in a box. It shouldn't put you in a box because the people that are going to like your type of travel are going to follow you, and it's going to become a booking source for you. So if anything, it should help you. Now, what I like about honestly what I do is I have my Facebook page, right? And my Facebook page, it is my business, but it also kind of just makes me like known for travel, right? And that's like my professional Facebook page. Like it's literally Ash Knows Travel, yeah? And then I also like on TikTok, I have my own like individual like passports to pleasure. It's my business there. And that's just a small part of it. And that's my niche. That's adults only resorts. And it's called Passports to Pleasure. I know it's funny. But it's because I do passports to profits for team building. So I just kind of added it all together. But, anyways, so I made it its own platform on TikTok. Okay. And it does well because I'm talking directly to adults only. It knows what it's supposed to do. And that's what I'm trying to get to. Okay. If I could start over, I would have already done like, duh, like, like, oh, duh, like that makes sense. Like when I figured it out, I was like, man, like, and then honestly, my mentor, Emily, she figured it out at first, right? And then she kind of got like really good with the carousels, and then she put herself in the carousels. And like, I'm scared to do that. So I was like, I got to just figure out these carousels by themselves. I got to figure it out. And then like one day, I just like got like 300,000 views, and I was like, whoa, like it just clicked, right? So if I could start over, I would try to make it click faster. And this is definitely a great pathway to making it click faster when it comes to social media. I promise you. Okay. Now, continuing. Speaking of social media, we'll talk about my content strategy. This was something else that, oof, if I could start over again, I would do it correctly. And if you're watching this and you're stuck on getting new clients, here you go. Start here, please. Okay. I would start posting immediately. This was something I was so scared to do. And it was dumb because, like, I didn't even get better until I started posting. That's just the truth of it. You don't learn how to use social media until you use it. So if you keep watching us all doing it and you're like, oh, that sounds great, until you honestly sit down and just really learn how to use that platform, you will never get anywhere with it. I promise you. Okay. So I would just start posting immediately and find out what works as I go. And I'm not talking about posting 5 times a day. I'm not talking about posting everywhere at once. I would start with what you consistently maintain. Okay. TikTok and Facebook are my two main platforms. Do I post to Instagram? Yes. Instagram as a catch all. But I still get clients from Instagram, surprisingly. Somebody texted me the other day, I saw you on Instagram. What? Okay. I just post there, leave it alone. I don't even play with it. Okay. So I still get clientele from there too. But I use Facebook and TikTok as my two biggest ones because Facebook is personal for me and it's easier to build a relationship. In the travel industry is a relationship industry, right? But TikTok, I can see so many people and get so much exposure. So I use both. Okay. And since I consistently maintain them, that is what it's easier for me to do. If you try to get on a platform and you're trying to like post everywhere and post all the content and share, right? You're going to overwhelm yourself and that's going to make you inconsistent. So start with what you're comfortable with and then build yourself out of your comfortable spots and just grow a little bit here and there, right? So, for example, first weeks, I would have just posted 1 time per day, whatever it is, whatever I find. Let me determine my niche by seeing what people like, start posting. Week 3 or 4, I would start posting 3 to 4 times a day and then posting that 3 to 4 times a day. So like by week 3 and 4, I would do like 2 posts per day, right? And then we're building into it. Week 5, and then you're just kind of building into what you're comfortable with, right? And then you just kind of grow from there. But my problem was is that I was trying to post everywhere. I was trying to be on every platform. I was trying to make all these videos. I didn't even know I could reuse videos. That one makes me angry. I'm like, one day I could just click. It was like, why don't you just like Instagram doesn't care if you reuse videos. Facebook doesn't care if you reuse videos. TikTok, they do care, but you could just, spruce it up a bit, put some different words on it, right? And like when I figured out the world of batching, it was beautiful. But there was just so many things that I never would have learned if I didn't keep posting and seeing what worked, right? So that is something that you want to use as like a goal. It's not to be perfect, it's honestly to be consistent because consistency creates visibility because they can't book you if they can't see it. You see where I'm going with this? Like it's all what hit it hit, man. And it's like it doesn't click like that at first though. Like, can we be honest? If anybody who's watching this and is actually a little bit seasoned, okay, I consider you a new agent, but then your first year. Okay. After you hit first year, you're kind of like sophomore. Yeah. So if you're over the first year hump and you're still here, okay, you can agree with me. Like the biggest thing that we learned was, oh man, once I really started being consistent, it worked, right? And we can try to be consistent, but until we're actually honestly, we use our okay, here we go. I said this couple weeks back. When you stop treating it like a hobby and start treating it like a 5-figure, 6-figure, whatever you want to say, but income level business, then you'll actually start seeing the results. That's it. Like we all have to go through this. And once we do, you'll see it. And then the reason you start seeing it, how do you know you see it, right? A lot of us follow other travel agents, right? Well, we see y'all start popping up, popping up, popping up. That's how I know. Okay, she's being consistent because I see her more, right? Like I see it. I don't say nothing, but I see it. I can see when y'all are being consistent. Okay. Next one, I would start making videos immediately. Yeah. Oh, how many of us are nervous to make videos? Man. Okay. Videos build trust faster than almost anything else. Videos get seen faster than anything else. Did you know that? On all platforms, videos get seen faster than any other text or carousels or pictures or anything that you post. Okay. And if you're not comfortable with showing your face, that's okay. You guys can create CapCut template videos. I have a training for that. Voiceover videos, photo videos, carousel posts, those can turn into videos. You just put them all together and make a video on CapCut. And then even face to camera videos when you're ready. Okay. You do not have to be perfect about this. You can put a green screen on the back of you on TikTok and make videos. But the more visible you are, you have a better shot of being remembered. That's it. Okay. The more people are seeing you, the more people they remember you. And then they go, oh, yeah, I remember I wanted to book travel. And that's when they start inquiring. Okay. So that's exactly what I would do if I was start over. Now, This one's so important. And I don't like the way it made the slide, but whatever. Okay. This is so, so important. The first 30 days, a lot of new agents will come to me and they're like, I want to get my first booking. I want to get my first booking from people that you don't know and have no trust with. How? How are you going to do that? How are you going to get a booking from people that have no trust from you? That's it. I'm going to be real with you. Okay. Your first 30 days, they need to be building visibility. They need to see you. If they don't see you, they can't trust you. So the more they see you, the more they trust you. And when you're getting that trust, you're building your audience, which are going to be the people that book with you. Okay. So your first 30 days, your goal should not be to be instantly rich. Okay. Even if you build instantly rich, that's not going to last very long. We want to build full-time real income that we can actually live on, right? So we have to work on becoming visible so we can build our trust in our audience. Not worried about going viral. Okay. That's not gonna viral. I've been viral so many times since I've been here in the 4 years. That's a one-time deal. Okay. And you don't get paid to go viral. I don't know who told you. If you do, you don't. You don't get paid to go viral. Yeah, you can get quite a bit of bookings maybe from that one post, right? But it ends. It always ends. So our goal should not ever to be go viral. It should be to do things on the left. And then lastly, mastering everything. This is not something I would try to do. You cannot ever really master everything in travel because travel is always changing and it's always growing. So you need to get at a level of where you are comfortable in your expertise and focus on that. And you can do that by becoming more visible. I promise you. Okay. Now, moving on. Now, this slide also messed up, so I fixed it because I didn't like what they said. But I don't just want to say these are examples, okay? So you don't have to really have this, but the suppliers that I would learn first are going to be based off of your niche, okay? And these are some of examples, but just focus on a few suppliers first because that's part of the mastering everything. That's what this is breaking down. A lot of us try to learn all the suppliers at one time, try to book them all at one time, and it gets very, very like time consuming and then kind of overwhelming. Like use your first couple of vendors on your first booking and then kind of build into it with the mock bookings, etc. The more you use the same suppliers, the better you will feel. Oof, okay. Wait, a mad baby. The more you use the same suppliers, the more comfortable you get with them, and the better you will get when it comes to time to actually book with them. Okay. So VAX, ultimate requirement. If you don't like VAX or you can't find a resort and VAX, try Vacation Express. Expedia Tap is definitely the fall through for both of those. And then at least one cruise line. You gotta learn at least one cruise line because the cruise lines, they really kind of fit into all niches. No matter what type of niche you have, you can find a cruise line that works for you. So try to find one, okay? Master these first and then add more as you go. Because if you're trying to learn everything at one time, you're going to overwhelm yourself, honestly. All right. Now, another one. I told you we were going to talk about Linktree. Man, I love Linktree. I don't care what platform you use. Use whatever link hub you want to. But I'm a big Linktree fan. And I have a training on Linktree too. You can find it on ashknowstravel.com. Okay. But every piece of content should have some type of destination. And I missed this at the beginning. We have so many opportunities for like lead magnets. We have so many newsletter opportunities, Facebook groups, quote request forms. I mean, we just have so many things that people can grow and click and just kind of lead themselves into a booking, right? So I like to post a lot of my content that has a destination. And a lot of the times it's easier just to post the link tree because they can find everything at one time. So try to get some type of link tree. If you don't like Linktree, use a different platform. I don't care, but you need a place where all of your stuff can be connected, okay? Because why? When people are ready to buy, they need it to be very, very simple. If it's not simple, they won't do it. Just being honest with you, okay? Never make people hunt for information. I put my link tree right in my bio. I put it everywhere I post. I put it as much as I can because I want people to find it. The better they see it, the better they're going to book it. I promise you, okay? Now, lastly, oof, yes. This one makes me so angry because I didn't do this in the beginning. I had to go find all of my leads and all my emails, okay? Even if you are watching this and you decide later to team build, okay? Even if you decide to team build later on, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Collect every email and save it, regardless if it is for clients, regardless if it's people that are possibly interested in starting here. Doesn't matter. Collect every single email because you never know when you need to go back to a lead that you have already talked to or have already had somebody interested in, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is one of the biggest mistakes that agents make. They think that clients, when they book with them, it's like one time, done, have a great day. But a lot of the time, the money is in the follow up, which I'll get into. But you can't just determine and just base that off of having no basis. Create your own email list, okay? Someone sends you a quote, someone joins your group, someone asks you a question, ask them for the email so that you can collect it and save it and then build your database from day one. I promise you, people that are top bookers, they do this. Always ask them, do you got your email so I can send it to you? What's your email? Okay. Your email list belongs to you, and that is one of the best ways to build your clientele is by getting their emails. I promise you. Ooh, yes, I love this one. Okay, now, oh yes, ooh, next one I would do. I would use AI every day. Every day I would use AI. I don't know if somebody comes to me. I see this all the time on Facebook. Somebody will post like, "Oh, I don't like those flyers. I don't like when people this sound the same. If they do Chat GPT, okay." Those people, they only say that because they don't know how to use it. That's it. They don't understand it, or they just are too afraid to learn it, or they don't have time to learn it. There's some part of them that doesn't know it, and that's when they don't like it. And the reason I say that is because every time I see somebody do this, a few posts later, I will see them use AI. Okay, right? So don't be a hater. Just take the time to learn it. Okay. AI saves hours every week for me. Okay. I can do like 6 things at one time because I have like 6 Chat GPTs going at one time. But that's exactly what I do. I use AI for content, emails, captions, blog posts, research, organizations. I even build my carousels in Chat GPT. I use it for everything, and it makes it to where I can run 3 different parts of this business at one time. So, yes, please use it. Even if you don't know how to use it, tell it you don't know how to use it, and it will teach you how to use it. I promise you, it's got you. All right. Now, continuing, what I would ignore. I would ignore trying to be perfect, trying to have the best website. Some of the top bookers that I am close with, okay, they don't even have websites. They don't. They have link trees, maybe a Popple, something like that. And then they have their personal Facebook that turned into a professional one. That's what they use. Yeah. So you don't need that big website. If you want to build a website, go for it. Okay. But if it's something that's going to take away from you getting a client, don't do it. Okay. You have time. You have time to do that. Okay. Next one, fancy logos. Get ChatGPT to make it. They're not going to care about your logo. You just need it to look good. Okay. Expensive software. I try to do everything for free. If I can find a way to do it for free and it works for free, I will do it for free. You do not have to spend a lot of money outside of what you pay for your whatever host fee that you pay. Okay. Obsessing over followers. People, this is a big one. Like, people expect instant gratification. This is something that I had to learn over time. You can never expect instant gratification from a social media post. That's not the purpose of the post. The purpose of the post is to be seen, right? Is to get visibility. So that is what that should be. Not if I don't have the best likes, I don't have the most this, I don't have that. Okay. All of those things are something that we can change inside of the post, that we can change over time. But what you really want to make sure is that you're being seen no matter where you're going, because people will sit there and watch you for like weeks before they ever say hello or I want to book with you. But as long as they see you, you have a better chance of them booking, right? Lastly, constantly changing niches. Just try your niche. I have a niche down training if you need it. You can find it. And just try your niche for at least 90 days before you change it, because it takes time to build a focus on social media, because you have to teach your algorithm to make sure that's what you want to do. So that takes time to build. That's not something you can build immediately, right? So none of those things I would focus on trying to do, because none of these things create bookings. Focus on activities that put you in front of potential clients. Always try to stay visible. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say here. Now, what actually creates bookings? I told you what to ignore. Let's talk about what we need to do. I've been saying this the whole time. I think this is every training that I have. Ready? Consistency on being visible so you can build conversations, and those conversations that you're building, you follow up with them to get bookings. There it is. All right. The agents getting bookings aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the ones that show up consistently and stay visible long enough for people to trust them. That's it. I promise you, you don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the most educated travel agent. You don't have to be the most experienced travel agent. You just have to show up. Because the moment that everybody stops showing up, the ones that did show up is what makes them unique, and that's what gets them bookings. Okay. My daily non negotiables every single day. We show up, we talk to people. I don't care how you talk to them. Okay. We're learning something new. I don't care if it's for your business. I don't care if it's for your life. I don't care. You learn something new every single day, and we follow up every single day. Okay. These four things right here are the smallest things that you can do to help build consistency, not only just in your business, but also in your life. I promise you, if you want bigger results in your life, be consistent with something. Show up every day for that something. I'm going to give you a good example. I've been trying to lose weight for like the longest time, right? I did the shots, whatever. Figured that part out, and now I got left down to the part where I got to work out. I promise you, I've been at the gym now consistently for over 4 months, and I have felt so much better since I started working out. I don't know why, and it made me so mad. Like, why did I never try that, right? But I was figured, let's learn something new because we can't obviously lose all the weight for the rest of our lives on shots. So we got to actually adapt something healthy here, right? So I learned something new and I started showing up, right? And then I talked to my husband who convinced me to go to the gym. Yeah. And then I started following up. Yeah, I know that's silly. I know that's a weird comparison, but even in your life, you can do something like this and make a difference. You have to be consistent in order for it to work. I promise you. All right. Now, my first 90-day goal, honestly, if I were to start over, would not be 100 bookings. My first 90-day goal would be to become known. The more known you are, the better you have a possibility of getting a booking, because visibility creates opportunities. Yeah, that's exactly it. If I were to start over, that's the first thing I would have done. Because when I first started, I posted a few times and then I hid. And then I had to go and find leads, and I had to go look in groups, and I had to go try to create content that would go viral and hope for the best. And if I were to start all over again, I would just try to focus on being consistent enough to where people know who I am. Yeah. All right. So if I were to lose everything tomorrow and I had to start here again, what would I do? These four things never go out of style. I would make sure that I'm visible, that I built relationships through my consistency. And with my consistency, I always delivered the best service possible to my clientele to make sure that they become repeat bookers. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. Now, as well, my action plan for the first 90 days. Y'all feel free to screenshot any of this, okay? Like, this is exactly what we just went over, but choose a niche, define my audience, set up a way for people to contact me through Linktree and Jotform, start posting consistently, whatever that is for you, as long as it's consistent, works great. Create your first couple of videos, save those videos and reuse them. Collect and save every email, learn one supplier. I try to learn a new supplier every week, or I go back and focus on an old supplier every week. And then, most importantly, show up even when nobody's watching. I stopped posting for a lot of times because I thought nobody saw it. But it's the consistency of me being here and showing up every day is what gotten me to these 4 years that I've been here. I promise you. So momentum is built one day at a time. And then one day you'll end up like me 4 years later and wake up and you're just like, wow, okay, like I did that. Hold on, we did that, right? You can get there too, but you can't get there if you quit on day one. That's it. All right. So, truth about starting over, and then my final thoughts. If I had to start over tomorrow, and maybe if you find yourself with no clientele right now, just stay consistent with the formula, because that's what honestly built my business the first time. If I didn't like start doing this, I promise you I wouldn't be here in 4 years, okay? And that's exactly what I would use to build it again. But lastly, I'll leave you with this and I'll stop, okay? The fastest way to succeed in travel isn't knowing everything. And that's the first thing I say to you guys on presentation. I always say no experience is needed, just a willingness and what was it? A willingness and a passion for travel. If you have a willingness to sit down and learn and actually figure out what works for you in the travel industry, and if you show up consistently long enough for people to trust you, that's what gets you to that success. Okay. Success, it leaves the clues. You focus on the fundamentals, you stay visible, and you stay consistent, and you keep going. All right. So Please take this training and share this with your teams, guys. Make sure you like this video. I hope that it helped you. If you are brand new and you're seeing this, welcome. I think I set a pretty good pathway for you of what you can focus on. And I hope it helps you guys. And if you're getting to a point where you need to try and get different types of clientele, try one of these things, kind of take it with you and implement it to your own business so that you have a better chance of getting into, the clientele that's actually meant for you. Yeah. So make sure that you guys like this video. Make sure that you guys share this with your team and comment if it helps. And I will come back here on Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, where I will talk about the truth of being a travel agent that nobody talks about. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that one. But for now, if you have any questions, feel free to comment them in the chat. I'm heading over to my studio where I will find the chat box and I will answer your questions there. And I will see you back on Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some